Hey Soul Circle. Hey Soul Circle. It is so good to spend time with you, share our time together. I thank you for stopping in today to That's My Song with me, your girl, your host, Desiree, on www.lifeenhancementradio.com. And as I always say, and I boast and I brag, like we always have good conversations, right? Like we always have good conversations. So, please, any topics that you have, I just had a very good topic come up from one of our co-hosts that we had in the past. And that's going to be coming up real soon. But today, Soul Circle, as we link up, of course, we're talking about the second half of fathers, right? So just like mothers, right? So it's, dear mama, you are appreciated. And then the second half of that is, mama and all her ish, right? So fathers are no different. Like fathers are no different. So last week we celebrated the kings. All of the stand-up dudes, as I say, all of the stand-up dudes that know that they have children and they take care of their children. They help grow and raise their children. They do what's necessary to help, a successful adult. And like they know their role in that, their position in that. So the biological fathers, the stepdads, the teachers, our male teachers out there, they have a student for a year, but they know that it's that impact. It's what they do. It's what they show that's going to definitely be there for the child, going forward. I am a very firm believer that while I know we have single mothers that raise children, and it shouldn't be that way because every man, every mother should raise their child. Right? That's your responsibility. That's one of your responsibilities, one of your God-given responsibilities. But there are people that step in and can help with the support and help raise the child. But I am one of those people that say, it really does take a man to raise a boy to become a man. Right? And I'm not saying for single mothers that have to have little boys and they don't have a little boy, they don't have a man in their life. I'm not saying she can't do it. They do it. They have done it. They'll continue doing it, unfortunately. But I do think to raise, it takes a man to raise a boy to become a man. And it takes a man to show a little girl, like what a real man is. Right? And so, it is both. It goes both ways. It goes both sides. But, Soul Circle, so glad. Have a seat, y'all. Have a seat. Relax. It's raining, so thank goodness we don't have to drive today. It's raining over here on the East Coast. It might not be raining where you are, but it's raining over here on the East Coast where I am. And so, sit down, relax. You don't have to drive in this rain and create any issues. So we are going to talk about fathers and that second half of fathers. But we have please stick around, Soul Circle, with this conversation because we're going to have a special guest who, his name is Bruce Edwards, and he has published a book, The 14 Virtues of a Good Father. And he'll talk about that and where you can get it and all that kind of good stuff. It's a great gift to give to the king in your life for someone that's about to become, a father, so that he'll have resources and tools and just motivation and inspiration to become the best father that he can be. Because we need that. We need good fathers. We need good mothers. We need good support systems all around us because the world is just getting so much different. It's getting so difficult. But we're going to start off with one of those, That's My Song. I didn't really know what it was about till I got older. But this song by The Temptations, it was Papa Was a Rolling Stone. So one of those issues, right, that people are like, oh, he wasn't a good father, right? But was he not? We're going to talk about that. That's a real heavy issue. But here we go, The Temptations. Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
It was the 3rd of September. That day I'll always remember. Yes, I will. 'Cause that was the day that my daddy died. Oh, I never got a chance to see him. Never heard nothing but bad things about him. Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth. I looked at my mother and I said, hey mama, is it true what they say that Papa never worked a day in his life?
And Mom, there's some bad talk going around town talking about Papa had 3 outside children and another wife, and that ain't right.
Heard some talk about Papa doing some storefront preaching, talking about saving souls and all the time leeching, dealing in that and stealing in the name of the Lord. Mama just hung her head and said, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, oh, he left this world alone. Papa was a rolling stone. That gun it. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, oh, he left this world alone.
Hey mama, I heard Papa called himself a jack of all trades. Tell me, is that what sent Papa to an early grave? Folks say Papa would beg, borrow, steal to pay his bill.
Hey mama, folks say Papa never was much on thinking. Spent most of his time chasing women and drinking.
Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth.
Papa was a rolling stone.
Well, 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 well.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
When he died, all he left us was alone.
So that Soul Circle, we remember that, right? We remember that. The Temptations with Papa was a Rolling Stone, which brings up a really good discussion. Like, there are people where Papa was a Rolling Stone. Like, when you listen to the words of the song, they talk about how they never heard but bad things. But Mama, Mama, I'm depending on you to talk about Daddy and his work habits, and Daddy, and I'm hearing rumors he has another wife and another family. I heard that he's preaching and leeching in the name of the Lord. So it's like so many different things that people hear, and all of a sudden that man is not a good father. Now, life is what life is, right? So sometimes you will have men with 1, 2, 3, 4 families, and you gotta balance that. Is he a good father? Is he taking care of his responsibility? So he might be a rolling stone. He may, wherever he lays his hat, but he is there for whatever children he does create. Of course, we all know we play an equal part in the creation of children, and we should always be aware of that. We should always be aware of that, because it certainly isn't just his decision. It certainly is not just her decision. But does that make him a horrible father, right? So that definitely is something, Soul Circle, we got to think about that. We definitely have to think about it. We have to think about, you have to think about that. How are you labeled the good father? And that's one of the things that for some people, that makes you not a good father. And sometimes for other people, that won't necessarily make you a bad father, because you were there for me. You did do for me. Despite your being a rolling stone, right? So that's certainly something, Soul Circle, we certainly do need to think about that. And then the other thing they talk about, that whole Papa was a rolling stone is coming about because their father has died. And so that brings me to, I'm thinking about like angel fathers, Fathers who have passed on, fathers who have transcended at a young age, at an older age, but they have transcended. And so that will impact people in different ways as well. But it's very important to know that there is an impact. There is an impact. Either, the impact is like a negative impact or like a no impact, right? Because the father didn't contribute to your life in any way, but to know that that part of your legacy, that part of your history is now gone, right? So sometimes that can cut off a whole portion of who you are. Because remember, you are 50-50, right? You are 50 your mother, 50 your father. And if he passes away, if he transcends, exactly how do the two parts of you come together, or do they not come together, or do you never know who your father is? Like, that's some real deep stuff. I never understood that because I was never in that position where I'm born and I just never know who my father is. I don't even know his name. I don't know where he lives. I don't know anything about him. But that is certainly something to think about. Does that mean you look for your father and try to figure out, exactly what happened? Because, there's some adult stuff going on. And you as a child, you don't quite know exactly, what to say, when to say it, because there is some adult stuff going on. And sometimes you go to your mother, just like they say, I went to mama. I'm depending on you, mama, to tell me about my father. And it is, if the father has stepped away from his responsibilities, it is up to the mother to kind of at least lay that foundation, at least his name. And then if you want to seek him out or search him out, you as an adult, I do think that you should have the right to do that. But that goes to Papa was a Rolling Stone. And that age-old question, if the father is a Rolling Stone and he has so many different families or family units, is he still a father? Is he still to be considered a good father, right? Or does that just kill that whole idea of him being a good father? Was he there? Was he not there for you? Because some people have a father in their home and they're not there for you. In that way, right? So there's a lot of emotion that's involved, and sometimes, there's a father in the home and, he goes to work, he comes back, he eats, he sleeps, and he's not really interactive with you. But he does contribute in other ways. He keeps the roof over your head, he keeps the lights on, and all of those very important things. Does that still make you a good father? That's something to definitely think about. Or a father that's not in the house, it's you and your mom, but he still does contribute to your life. He contributes to your life. However that contribution is, he contributes to your life. So, anyway, that brings me to another one of That's My Song. And this is one of my songs. The next one that we're going to listen to is it's by Intune, the group Intune. And this is from like years ago, the group Intune. And I can't think of the young man that was in that group, and now he's like in Lil Wayne's camp and he's doing big things. But I'll come up with his name later. But this is Intune, Happy Father's Day, and this is from a child's perspective of, Happy Father's Day. Despite